This is the Hunt Showdown analysis show where I break down my decision making and thought processes during my recent hunts. If this video helps you at all, please drop a like, a sub and hit that bell icon so you can be notified when the next one comes out. But without further ado, let's get on with the hunt. So here it was very early, it was very quiet early game. You heard some gunshots there going off. I'm going and moving up towards the boss lair as we speak. You can see I've got those 3 clues. Very uneventful this morning. So I'm actually, I don't like chaos balls, so I throw them out and replace them. And I thought maybe, you know, that might distract them. But anyway, I'm heading up to Ironworks. I've got the Nagant silencer and the Mosin. I had to do some, I was doing some challenges with the Nagant silencer. I needed to kill some stuff with poison ammo, so that's kind of why I have that instead of something like a Sparks pistol or maybe a shotgun or something along those lines, which I would usually prefer to take. So yeah, we're heading over to Ironworks, and it's been pretty quiet. You know, I'm being a little bit careful because, you know, I just heard some gunshots off. There's definitely some crows that just went off in the distance there, which, you know, always worrying. But running from the Inferno, and can I just say how much I love the Inferno. It is so cool. That was one of the challenges that I was doing. The Inferno is so cool. I love seeing the fire around everywhere. And it's just mixing up how you can approach complexes. You know, especially when it's surrounding a complex, because you can actually use the fire as cover to pivot and circle around the complex to come at a complex at a different angle. I think it's a brilliant. I think it's a brilliant addition to the game, and I hope we get some, you know, more creative versions of maps as we go, because look at it, it just looks so cool. So yeah, I'm heading around. I'm getting some event points right here. I'm still being a little bit careful because I know people are around that somewhere, but I'm just not 100% sure where. Now, this Nagant pistol silencer with the poison ammo is one of the best guns to deal with mobs, to deal with the AI, especially those dogs. Those dogs can be awful to you if you're not careful, especially if you're playing solo. You know, if you just have, you know, even if you have like a Mosin and a uppercut, for example, those dogs are still going to give you some issues. So actually having this pistol as a way to deal with AI like that is great. So we're approaching the boss lair, and the boss lair's here, and there are a couple of people around. There are a couple of people fighting on the other side of the building. So you can hear they're fighting it, because you can hear that the assassin is you know, attacking. So do listen out for the boss, especially when you're approaching. If you're not sure if the people are there, but you can hear the boss running around and you can hear the boss like actually attacking people, then it's a good likelihood that the people inside are attacking the boss silently. Here, that's not the case. But also, you can hear that the event clue here, that's just on the left, it's going off every now and then. It's not at the moment, people are a little bit further away, but it was going off. So it's really not a good idea to keep sneaking around too much. You know, at this point people know that you're here. The problem with sneaking is that you make yourself a really easy target. So the only times you really should sneak is if you really are trying to be, you know, silent, or if you're in a lot more cover like this. I sneak a bit too much, I've got to be honest. I don't really follow my advice too well on that, and that does cause me issues. If you watch some of my clips, you can see me getting headshot, and things, and it sucks. So I take the chance here of throwing in a consumable, seeing what happens. I'm kind of just getting their attention, and I'm trying to control the fight. So I don't want to rush in, and I don't want to rush in and cause them to, you know, take me out. But I want to control and see what happens, and, you know, use my perspective as the kind of controlling factor in the fight. So now I was cheated here. I fully believe I was cheated here. I had this gap. You can see probably about 2 or 3 of the shots should have hit. I think that's some weird glitch with the game. So just be a little bit careful about where you shoot through. I feel like I get cheated in this game quite a lot with that kind of thing happening. But there, you know, I managed to get a shot here. So you can use little gaps like this as places to aim from. And they clearly had no idea where I was at this point. They couldn't quite work it out. And at this point I'm like, okay, clearly they're not going to stay up there. Clearly they're going to move. So I thought maybe they were going to go up, one of them was going to go up the tower. Never go up that tower, by the way. It is the easiest place to get shot from. It may look tempting to go up and get the high ground, really high ground, but it is not worth it. You are sitting ducks up that tower. But again, you know, I hear the metal footprints, and I think maybe, but so the emulator blows up there, and they're clearly shooting it. So I take the chance to consume up, and you know, I'm kind of doing this to and fro a little bit. I'm prodding them. I'm kind of prodding the bear a little bit, you know, throwing in some consumables, getting some pot shots in there, just seeing what kind of happens. Because there's 2 of them, and I think there's some people around the other side, so I don't really want to run around and go full in attack. That's, you know, that would be a bad idea for me. But I think at this point is that when they kind of realise where I am. So I'm trying to get as much angle onto that roof as possible, which is why I'm falling back here, trying to, you know, see if they're popping up on the roof again. There we go. For some reason he put his flashlight on. It really helped me, to be honest, because it means I could see him. So at this point, one of them's on the roof, but then one of them has snuck around here, which is a great idea. This was a great idea for him to do, is actually sneak round to the side and try and, you know, get a pincer move. But, you know, I managed to see him after he shot and won that little fight there. So this other one comes down, and you see him running down. And so I'm expecting him to pop into that part there. Got to get the ammo. Make sure you are aware of your ammo. And you can see his flashlight gives him away. Don't wear your flashlight. If you are, maybe you're doing it for me. I don't know. But this guy with the flashlight on, for some bizarre reason, had it on, and it just gave him away. Because I just saw the flashes, and you can see the flashes through, you know, little slats and stuff. And yeah, you know, use cover. Don't run out. Don't do anything too drastic in this case. You know, after you take out one, the second one becomes easy because you're now just on a one-on-one fight, and you know that can go any way. 2-on-1 is a bit rough. 1-on-1, yeah, it's fine. So I'm checking, you know, just checking if he's got any weapons as well. Good to get the loot. So at this point, I'm thinking, okay, it's now gone quiet. It's clearly white on the indicator. So, you know, it's probably okay that I go and actually attack the boss. So, some tips on attacking the boss. Assassin sucks. It absolutely sucks. I don't like fighting the assassin. But, the Gant silencer with the poison ammo, really good job. Poison ammo does a really good job at killing the assassin. And so does fire. So, you know, if you're struggling to defeat the assassin, maybe take this. Look, you can see how much damage I'm doing with each shot here. I don't have fanning at this point. However, yeah. I just hear that happens as I'm reloading, and I'm like, ah, this is a problem. Someone's sneaking up on me. If he was quicker, he would have got me when I was fighting the boss. But you know, he should have pushed a tad earlier. But you know, he still got the kill on me, which is fair. And I'm at the point where, you know, well, what can I do? Well, I can revive still. I've got the grounded perk. I've got necromancy. So we'll just jump over to where I decide to revive. I probably spent about 30 seconds sitting there waiting. So it's been quiet, and I kind of hear him kind of walking around in the boss and stuff and doing some stuff. So I decide it's time. Right, so we revive, and he's taking my Mosin, which is a good choice. Luckily he was inside, so it just gave me enough time to get up and you know, get situated. So in a flashes are really good. I don't use them that much. I only have them I only use them when I, you know, pick them up. But they can be really good to just help support an attack. So yeah, running around, he's kind of scared. I hit him with the poison. He's poisoned. He's kind of inside. He's actually defeated the boss at this point, but he hasn't started banishing. Yeah. So I've got his sparks, and I clock that trap to the left there because I'm going to need it in a minute. So I'm choosing a different way in. And it's dead silent, which means he's also sneaking around. Now, if you've watched my videos before, you know I really like the blank fire decoys. And so I can't really, I can hear him, I can't really hear him. So I decide to throw a couple of blank fire just to see what happens. See if he pushes out. And here he comes. He's sneaking around. This is what I mean by sneaking around. If you sneak around, you're going to get headshot. You see how easy that was. I didn't give away my position. I was using a blank fire decoy to not give that away. He came sneaking around to investigate, but because he's sneaking, firstly, I got cheated on that first shot again, but the second, you know, quick headshot, easy, done. And of course, I wasn't sure if he was grounded or not. He hadn't disappeared, so I just grabbed this, grabbed that trap there to place at his feet. Yeah, quick tip about placing placing traps: place them at the feet. When they get up, they kind of stand where their feet are, rather than the center of their body, which you might expect. So, yeah, place them at their feet, and then that will usually, if they get up again or get revived or whatever, they'll be trapped instantly. So here I banish, and the rest of the game, it's fairly easy. Yep, and there we have our extraction from the first game. No one around, we're all good. Let's get on to the second. Okay, into the second game. Now, this second game was really something. We're still running the same loadout, so this is the game directly after the previous one. So we're still running the poison ammo with the silencer and the Mosin. And so I'm approaching the first clue, and yeah, it all seems well and good. Getting some vent points, getting the clue. You know, doing some first early round grinding. So straight over to the clue. I can't hear anything. You know, nothing's going on. It seems quiet. All seems good. Just checking the pros, making sure. And then I spot him. I spot him crouching by that fence. Just some guy was just sitting there, and it's like, okay, well, what are you doing? Now this guy was really sneaky. Like, this is, if you think I sneak around a lot, this guy snuck around a lot. So I believe what happened is he went back and rotated around the opposite direction. I can't actually remember. I think he went back around and rotated the opposite direction. So up to there, yeah, and you can see I spot him there. So gotta heal up, and at this point, it's hard to deal with someone who is sneaking around so much because you can't necessarily work out where they are. See, I come over here and try and get a side view on him. Absolutely no idea. I think, mate, has he backed off? Has he backed off into the trees? Nothing's obvious. And so, you know, I have some choices here. I can sneak around and try and rotate round, which I think is pretty much what I decide to do. Or I could run off, because honestly, people like this, it's so hard to track them when they basically become invisible. So yeah, I rotate round. You know, I'm keeping an eye. I don't want to be inside the complex. I'd rather be on the outside at this point, because from observation, he would be looking to the inside. He would be thinking, oh, I'm inside the complex. He wants to be doing what I'm doing, which is keeping an eye on the outside and looking in, rather than and so he wouldn't be thinking that I'm going to be doing this, which is rotating around on the outside. Typically, that's kind of when you're in that situation, when someone's in the middle of the complex, someone's on the outside, typically you think it's going to stay like that. So you can take advantage of getting out of the complex and rotating all the way around and doing a big wide circle. And that can sometimes work. Doesn't always, but it can sometimes work. I mean, I've completely lost him here. I think what he actually did was run down this road here to the left. But it's hard to say what he actually decided to do here. So I decided to go for vantage, get a better look on the situation, because he's clearly not here. He's clearly not in this building, because I can't hear him in this building. You know, you would hear someone in the building just because of the wooden floor, the footsteps, even creeping around, you would hear. So he could potentially hear me in this building. At this point, I'm just looking for him. I'm just trying to work out where he is. And I start thinking, you know, you know, maybe he's run off. And maybe he's run off, you know. We can't really tell for sure. I test the waters, basically. And so this is what I mean about creeping around. Because when you're crouching, you're slow. You're really slow, and you're easy to aim at. So watch what happens here. Yep. 76 meters away. Far away. He basically decided to there you go, he's on the rock there. So he's you can see him just on the rock on the top right. I couldn't quite see him in game when I was playing. Don't sneak like that. That is such a dumb thing to do. If you're in an easily shoot place, you're in an easily shot at place. Move around, be fast. You know, make noise. People can see you, so there's no point in sneaking. It happens. That's how you get shot. Don't sneak. Is basically what I'm trying to say. Sneak when it makes sense to be sneak. Sneak in here. This makes sense. I've got cover on one side. I'm keeping an eye out on the other sides. You know, I'm just being careful. But yeah, don't just travel around in open areas sneaking. It really doesn't help you. You might think that you don't want to make noise all the time, and yeah, I get it. You know, especially when you're a soloist, it is a it can be rough, in all honesty. So I fall to it. I fall to it sometimes myself, but it happens. So yeah, a lot of sneaking in this early game. So fast forwarding up into the boss lair. At this point, you know, we've lost the person who was sneaking around and shooting at us, and we're now approaching what we just found out to be the boss lair for scraps. So yeah, I'm sneaking up and I'm thinking, what can I do? How can I approach this? The church is a bit of a tough place to attack. There's a lot of open entrances, but you got the bell tower, which is a relatively good vantage point, and there's a lot of windows and hidden places in this complex. So I've always found this one a bit rough to deal with. Now, as I'm like in this river and just trying to get rid of this hive because I don't want to have to deal with the bees, I hear behind me some people approaching, which is why I go in and hide here. And then I suddenly become stuck between a rock and a hard place. I haven't quite approached yet, but here what I'm doing is just seeing if anyone approaches this window. You can see me using my favourite blank fires again, trying to get people the attention of people down this side. And there you go, you can hear the people behind. So now I'm really stuck. I'm under a house by water with people behind me and people in front of me. Does mean I can get a nice little headshot there. But I've got a terrible position. This really is a terrible position. I can easily get spotted and shot. I am slightly hidden and slightly in an unexpected place. And I still use my blank fire decoys to try and fake my position as well. And that's really the benefit. That's the one advantage I had here, was those blank fire decoys, and using them in a way that would either distract both teams. And again, I'm going to be caught in if I'm not careful, I'm going to be caught in the crossfire. Unfortunately, I wasn't careful there. I shot that above me. And so I've got to give it a minute. Like, I could try and move about, but it's a high likelihood that I'm going to be shot by at least one of the teams, which, you know, I really want to avoid. So you can see there, I was throwing blank fire decoys over there, and they went up to the toilet and punched it just to check if anyone was in it. So I threw another one because I thought, hey, that's funny. See if they approach it again. And here's the thing: no one ever thinks you're using blank fire decoys. No one thinks of it because no one takes them. Which is why they're so good, because no one takes them. At this point, I hear people die, so I decide to move out and actually get out of there. And I decide to take the leap of faith and run. That scared me. That scared me a lot. So there are people back on the in about southwest, yeah, down in that direction somewhere. And that was a big scare. So I decided to run back up this way, where I believe people have died. So I take the chance to run in this direction, just getting rid of the mobs, getting rid of them badly. And my problem is I don't know really where they are. You know, I don't know where the people hiding in the bushes are. Typically in this scenario, I am more worried about the people outside the boss arena than the people inside the boss arena. The people inside the boss arena, I know where they are. They are in the boss. They're in the building. They're probably hauled up. They're not a massive problem because they're not going to be looking out and peeking too much. The people who are surrounding... Now you might have spotted that, I miss a person, but then I spotted him. Funnily enough, these are the people who were stalking me much earlier. Apparently there was actually 2 of them, I believe. So in the beginning of the game, they were the ones. These were the ones. Maybe not this one. I think there's another one coming up. And so I'm more worried about these people in the bushes, because these people in the bushes, they're the ones who are gonna, like, if you go and attack, well, you've now got to deal with the people in the bushes inside there. I would much rather deal with the people hiding around in the bushes first, so that when you go and attack the people in the boss lair, you're not worried about anyone else who's sitting around. So someone shoots me a couple of times, and I don't really know where from. You hear the poison vial from the hand crossbow, and so I decide to back up, go around this bit of rock here, and there I spot him just through the bushes. And this is the one. This is the one that was crouched down and shooting me earlier on. So at this point, I know that we've got the first team that approached me from behind. They're gone. That other team in that bush, are now gone. I do have 2 issues. I've got the people inside the boss lair itself, and I've got people who shot me when I was on the other side of the boss lair, down sort of southwest west. But I decide it's time to actually going and moving in onto the people in the boss lair. At this point, I feel like I've dealt with most of the people around, and so it's time for me to move in. And again, I'm being careful about this. You know, I am a soloist. I'm going against two duos. You know, it's very easy to make a mistake and then you completely lost your life here. I hear them get hurt or someone die, I believe that was. So I decided it's time. Right there, you might have heard someone just left the game. I didn't notice that at the time, I just heard it. And so here we've got this bizarre situation with a whole bunch of Constantina. Really great for trapping and defending areas. But then the bounties are just on the floor. The people are dead. Turns out they were killed. So the funny thing about that is I scared someone because they weren't expecting me to be in there, and I scared them into running into their own poison cloud, which was kind of funny. And yeah, I got both bounties. Turns out the people who were approaching from the southwest were the other bounty team. That does happen. That does happen quite a lot. People go for the double. Don't blame them. It's fun to go for clean sweep. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that was everything. And at that point, I've managed to sneak my way into getting both bounties, which, you know, I could have attacked more. I certainly could have attacked more. I was caught with really bad positioning quite a few times in this game. Did I really deserve the win in this game? Probably not, I've got to be honest. Like, that person who basically took out all those people up there probably did deserve it. But hey, it's not about who deserves it, it's about who actually extracts at the end, right? So yeah, overall, pretty pleased with these games. They were interesting. Definitely I learned some lessons here myself in these. Mainly, don't crouch. Don't crouch in stupid places. Walk, move, sprint, you know, stay moving. Don't let yourself get headshot. Anyway, if that helped you at all, please drop that like, hit that subscribe button. It all helps. And until my next one, have a good one. Until my next one, have a good one. I don't know. I need to work on my outros.